Okay, so the subject came up of team dynamics and some things to think about. And we've talked about this many, many times before. All groups, doesn't have to be a team. It could be a work team, workplace team, schoolroom, whatever. Any group that comes together follows 4 steps of group formation. And this is a professor at Stanford University, a theory he came up with. It's held the test of time, or passed the test of time, in the sense that the theory's been around since 1965. His name was Professor Tuckman from Stanford. And it's fascinating because a lot of theories, social science theories, get enhanced over time, but his has had very slight modifications. And the 4 steps are: a group will form, they'll come together, they'll storm. In the storming phase, everybody on the team is, for lack of a better word, jockeying for position. Oh, there's little Maggie. And they're trying to figure out their place in that group. And everybody has a different role they take and accept within the group. Some are leaders, some are followers, some are worker bees, whatever you want to call it. But you form and then you storm. And the storming phase is when everybody's trying to exercise their opinion of what they should be on that team. And you can see it. It's really easy to see. It's very simple to see. So form, storm, everybody's figuring out their role on the team. Once you've figured out each other's roles, then you can norm. And when you norm, that's when everybody accepts the responsibilities, the expectations that they have, and then you can perform. So it's form, storm, norm, and perform. And just looking at this video, I want to show you a couple things, an observation that I had, certainly, about what's going on here. So I love these warehouses you guys playing. Look at sheetrock closing up holes and doors on the second floor. Wouldn't it be funny if somebody came out of this door and fell? It's not that funny, but I think it's funny. Anyway, you're playing, okay? First and foremost, I know that this person is a right side player and they're not going to transition to the right. I'm not sure why you're playing here, because you told me ahead of time that you're a right side player, and I actually watched this tournament. I came to watch, and oftentimes you would transition to the right, but you're not doing it here, and I'm not sure why, but that's neither here nor there. It's none of my business. Okay, make an observation. This person did a great job of transitioning off the net, getting outside, get ready to hit. A little bit inside, too close to the line. It should be outside further, so you're on the hypotenuse. And remember, the hypotenuse of this 30 by 30 court is from this corner to the far corner. You want to start on that, because then you're accelerating to the ball the whole time where the court is longest, or on the part of the court that's longest. So you want to be outside a little bit more. Easiest way to describe it, if this set ends up way outside from this position, too far inside, you're going to have to make sideways steps to go outside and hit it, and you're going to slow down. And we've talked about potential to kinetic energy. You want to be fast to the ball all the time. So, but anyway, good transition off the net. This girl did a good job too. Not really too concerned with the setter. These are 14s. These are just young kids. And that's something else to talk about. At 14, what you should be doing is teaching these kids to fall in love with the game. Not about this thing right here, which is like the biggest distraction known to man, the score. At 14, you're going to win your share of matches, and a lot of it has to do with serving. Whoever serves best is going to score the most points. But really, you shouldn't be paying attention to this, and parents shouldn't be paying attention to it either. It's just about development and getting better. So anyway, it looks pretty good. You both of you have transitioned off the net pretty well. I'm not going to get into the theory. This set's too deep and it's in the middle. It's too high. It's not a quick. This girl's a single block. These girls should be joining it. These coaches should be telling them. We're talking about this team. One of you is on this team. But it's neither here nor there. Again, fall in love with the sport at 14 is what you really want to teach. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Something good just happened. And the thing that happened that was good, you scored a point. And I'm looking over the score. It's 22. You're up 22. It looks like 19. And she's getting ready to flip it, so it's going to be 23-19. You guys are all disconnected. You're all in your own space. You're all by yourselves. Really, they did a great job of connecting. Even though something bad happened, they lost the point, they still came together, and they touched every hand or came together and talked. There's so much value in this. And when you talk about those stages of group formation, you know, I hate to say it, but it looks like these kids are a little bit more developed in the fact that they all know the rules. You know, the girl that hit the ball in the net made a mistake. She's still being accepted by everybody else, and that's a good thing, and that's the way it should be. Everybody's going to make mistakes. I always tell people that, you know, if you're a baseball hitter, you succeed 300%, or a third of the time. You hit 300, you make $1 gazillion. Well, 70% of the time you fail. So you're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. But these kids have all come together. These have not. And this is concerning sometimes. You know, it really can't come from the sideline, because the honest to goodness truth, I heard this coach telling you guys to generate energy, to you know, come together, do all those different things, but you haven't figured out how to do it yet. Sometimes it just takes one kid to say, look, let's come together like these kids are doing after every play, just so we know that we're part of the whole. We're a you know, piece of the equation. And there's so much value in that. It really is. And we've talked about this before. You don't even have to like each other while you're out here. You don't have to be friends. Off the court, you don't have to be friends, but on it, you have to be best friends. You truly do. And maybe there's an easier way to say that. It's not necessarily friends, but you guys are contributing to a common goal. And if you're doing exactly that, you got to be together. And I'm sorry, these kids have done a good job of it. Remember, at this point, we're always trying to find where the hands are, who the setter is, where are the hitters, and who's covering the dump should this setter go to dump it. So then we know which blocker is going to cover that dump. Again, there's another very valuable part of this, and that's noise. Noise coming from this side of the court to that side of the court is intimidating. And we never talk about being unsportsmanlike, but when you guys are on your side of the court and you know what's going on the other side of the court, it's intimidating. And, you know, that's a very valuable part of such a sport that relies upon intimidation. Some don't, to be honest with you. Well, now that I think about it, most do. Football, basketball, baseball, maybe not so much baseball. Pitchers can intimidate in baseball, but volleyball it's very important. I mean, you want to intimidate without being unsportsmanlike. Decent job. This girl came over and slapped her hand. She served it, so everybody's congratulating her, turning in to come in together. Decent job. Again, something bad happened over here, and they're still all coming together. But you can see all these kids on this side are still disconnected. They're living in their own space. You just can't do that. So, you know, just a brief description, very brief description of group formation and what it should look like. Pardon me. And, you know, like I said, sometimes it only takes one kid to figure that stuff out. And you know, you really focus on everybody being connected versus disconnected. And once you're connected, you guys can accomplish a significantly greater amount of positive outcomes. All right, there you go.